It's Monday and I have to work. But today we are doing the Banquet Spaghetti and Meatballs. So I think it's beef, pork, and lamb that these are made out of. And the calorie count's not bad. It's 360. However, we are going to be modifying this a little bit. I've had this one in the past. It's actually one of my favorites. It's good, but it has one critical flaw. Luckily, it's one that's easily remedied. Let's see what the instructions say. Slit filmed event. So what we're going to do is we're actually just going to take the film back and get the before shots. So anyway, this meal is actually pretty good. The sauce has good flavor. There is enough meat. How many meatballs did they give us? 5. Yeah, 5, which is honestly a decent portion. I do not have a huge appetite. I'm an older woman, and when you're in your 50s, unless you want to be quite big and out of shape and have a boatload of medical problems, you kind of have to portion control. You can exercise a lot, and I do, but you can't outrun your fork, as one of my cardiologists used to tell me. Even if you stay at a healthy weight, you're still going to probably have some medical issues past 50. That's just the luck of the draw. I'm a nurse. But every 10 pounds you add makes it even worse. All right, lecture over. So this is what it looks like in still frozen state. And you can probably see by the ratio of sauce to pasta what the flaw is here. It's a good flavor, you get enough meat. But as you can see, I think they keep the calorie count low by keeping the ratio of pasta also very low. So, but I doctor up my frozen meals. Get on in there. I think this is one is supposed to go 3, stir and replace 2. Okay, so we're gonna put it on for 3 first. Most people who eat frozen meals can totally understand adding this. Most people can also totally understand with frozen pasta meals adding this. However, I have 2 kids, and when you have 4 people in the house all eating at separate times, sometimes it helps to just have things cooked in advance. Like if I make rice, I don't just make like 1 or 2 servings. I make the whole rice cooker. And when I cook pasta, I cook the whole box. So we're going to take somewhere between like probably about a 1/4 cup of cooked pasta and stir it in until it looks right, because otherwise it's really, really soupy. And not like soupy watery, it's just like pasta that has way too much sauce. Some people love it. So if you like a lot of sauce and you want to like dip bread in it, this might be for you because it's got lots and lots of sauce. And the sauce is not awful. All right, enough blathering. I'll be back after coffee. Okay, let's see how this little guy is doing. All right. Oh yeah, it's quite hot. All right. And you know what? It just occurred to me. I did not get a before shot, so I'm probably going to have to freeze that shot and put it in here. Should I get one before? Yeah, why not? Okay. All right, so from experience, I know that this is probably going to be way too much sauce, but haven't had one in a year, I think. And sometimes they do change the recipes and ratios slightly. Okay, still slightly frozen. Yeah, it's a lot of sauce. Also a little bit watery. I'm actually always a little bit surprised at how much meat that they put in these. And I'm always a little bit scared too, because I'm like, for under $2, well under $2, I think I paid $1 and this was at a regular standard grocery store. At Walmart, I believe they're like $1.47. And at a regular grocery store, it's probably more like a $1.80 or something like that. All right, we got most of the extra water out. Just use a paper towel and take it out. So sometimes I think to myself, like, they're giving me this much meat in a frozen meal that costs less than $2. What kind of meat is this? Is it safe for human consumption? But I think it says chicken, pork, and beef. I suspect there's probably a significant amount of mechanically separated pork and or chicken. It's a factory technique that they use to make sure that no scrap is left behind. But I can tell just by looking at it is going to need a little more pasta. But I will also show you that, like, you don't need much. I'm guessing that that's probably about, well, maybe a little more. This is probably about somewhere between a quarter and a third cup of pasta. So we're really only boosting the calorie count of this up from, say, 360 to probably like 425, something like that. And we're going to stir this in and throw it, well, not literally, in the microwave for another 2 minutes. Yeah, you can see the sauce pooling over there. I am glad that I took the water out. And should I have tasted this before adding the extra pasta? Probably, but the taste itself is not going to change much. Just the ratio of sauce to noodles. And some people are like, well, you might as well just cook your own meal at this point. Well, adding some extra pasta only takes me like 10 seconds, especially since I always have it on hand. Cooking my own spaghetti and meatballs from scratch at not even 7 a.m. in the morning, yeah, that's not happening. All right, back in a bit. All right. We went out to the Shenandoah Valley and walked all around there to enjoy fall and to also pick up some super cheap video games for my youngest. And realized after a couple of hours we were certainly not the only people who thought that that was a brilliant idea to go see the autumnal color. It was mobbed. So I actually didn't get any footage of any of that, except for the video games. But we had a great time, and I got an ungodly amount of steps and exercise. Yeah, I'm really glad that I threw in the extra spaghetti, because otherwise this would have just been sauce and some meatballs with a few shreds of pasta. Before I taste this, and before I doctor it up further, I'm going to get a picture. Let's do that right now. But yeah, so boosted with some extra pasta, this probably went from 360 to like 425. Totally worth it, because after all that walking, I am hungry. So. All here. Well, if I can. All right. All right, a little bite of everything before I doctor it up. It's good. So before I dump hot sauce and Parmesan on here, I can't tell if the spaghetti that I got was mine or the Banquet. If I recall correctly from last time, um, the pasta's fine. Pasta actually freezes surprisingly well. Also, I'm not one of these people that cooks their pasta al dente. I can't stand al dente pasta. So texture of the pasta is good. Texture of the meatball is about what I would expect from a meatball in a frozen dinner that costs less than $2. It is edible and it is fine, but I'm not picky. Straight out of the gate, I would say that this is probably easily a 7 out of 10. By the time I finish with the hot sauce and the Parmesan and a little bit of extra spaghetti, we're probably looking at least an 8. Maybe a 9. On this morning, it's probably going to be a 9. And I'm wondering to myself whether it's still raining, because it was pouring last night. We'll see. We had startlingly good weather around here. It was like in the 70s last week. And this weekend, it was in high 50s? No, maybe. Well, it was warm. It was warm enough so that I didn't even need to wear a jacket for most of the day. So if the weather has turned cold, I have nothing to complain about. Remember, the weather report had like warnings of snow, and I was just like, I don't think that's going to happen. Parmesan cheese is forming some cult here at the bottom. Come on, get out of there. Time to explore a world free of endless Bible study. Just kidding. They're not really studying their own cult. All right, so now we've got it doctored up. That's it. Let's see if this is improved with hot sauce and Parmesan. I'll be very surprised if it's not. And some people are like, but I don't have all that. Well, you can actually get like small containers of this. You can get hot sauce in quite miniature bottles now. There's really no reason to like not bring your own condiments to work and doctor it up. All right, a little bit of everything. Oh yeah, yeah. That's easily an 8 out of 10. Needs a little more hot sauce. But that's about it. If you want to help, click like and subscribe. But even if you don't, I hope you have a fantastic day.